They were not a bad match. They loved each other. They wanted the same things. They had survived the wedding, the first home, the first child. By every measure, they were doing everything right. But somewhere between year 4 and year 6, something shifted. Not dramatically, not with anyone else involved. Just a slow, quiet growing apart that neither of them could fully explain. And by year 7, they were sitting across from a counselor who asked them when they had last felt genuinely close. They looked at each other, and neither could remember. This is not a rare story. It is one of the most common ones I encounter. And the reason it keeps happening and happening has nothing to do with compatibility, commitment, or love. Welcome back to YinkusPepe Talks. Real talk, real life with clear eyes. And if you're new here, my name is YinkusPepe. And on this channel, we have honest conversations about relationships, family, culture, and life. And today, I want to talk to us about the real reason marriages fail in the first 7 years, because it is not what most people think it is. Let's talk. The problem. The 7-year itch is real, but it is not about boredom or attraction to other people. It is about 3 specific dynamics hiding inside normal life that accumulate slowly until 2 people who love each other can no longer remember the last time they felt close. Dynamic number 1, you stop dating and called it maturity. The first 2 years of marriage carry their own momentum, the newness, the discovery, the biological energy of early love doing most of the work. Then life arrived. Children, careers, responsibilities, and intentional investment in each other quietly stopped. Both partners told themselves this was simply what marriage became, that you grow out of that stage and into something more stable. Lies. What they actually grew into was a functional partnership with no romantic core. Stability without intimacy is not mature marriage. It is a managed one, and a managed marriage eventually feels like contract, respected but not loved. The couples who survive the first 7 years are not the ones who never got busy. They are the ones who got busy and still chose each other anyways, deliberately, repeatedly, on ordinary Tuesdays. Dynamic number 2, you never learn to repair, only to recover. Every marriage has conflict. What separates marriages that thrive from the ones that erode is not the absence of rupture. It is the presence of repair. Recovery means the argument ends and you move on. Repair means the argument ends and you understand what happened. You address the underlying thing and you come back to each other with something learned from it. Most couples in the first 7 years are still recovering, not repairing. So the same argument happens again with different words this time, different triggers, same unresolved core, and each cycle leaves a residue, a small deposit of resentment, of feeling unheard, of wondering whether this person will ever truly get it. By year 7, that residue has accumulated into a wall neither person remembers building. Learn to repair, not just recover. Dynamic number 3, you became parents and forgot to remain spouses. This is the one nobody wants to say out loud because it sounds like you are choosing your marriage over your children. You are not. You're choosing your children's home. Think about it like that. When a couple redirects every unit of emotional energy into parenting, when the marriage becomes purely a co-parenting arrangement dressed as a relationship, the children are not protected by that sacrifice. They are shaped by it. They are shaped by 2 parents who are warm to them and cold to each other. By a home where love is visible between generations but invisible between the 2 people who created the family. Your children need to see you choose each other, not perfectly, not constantly, but visibly. Genuinely, the choice is not selfish. It is the most important thing you will ever model for them. Analysis. Here's what these 3 dynamics have in common. None of them announce themselves. Stopping the dates feels like growing up, right? Recovering instead of repairing feels like keeping the peace. Pouring everything into the children feels like good parenting. They are all reasonable decisions. made in the direction of something other than marriage. And individually, each one is survivable, but together, over years, they produce specific quiet devastation of two people who love each other and cannot even remember the last time they felt close. The 7-year mark is not a curse, it is a deadline. The point at which the accumulated cost of these small decisions becomes impossible to ignore. The couples who make it past year 7 are not luckier or more compatible, they are more intentional. They caught the drift before it became the distance. Now, before we get into the solutions, quick housekeeping here. If you are looking for deeper conversations, actionable blueprints, and the practical work behind these discussions we have, join our Patreon community, because here we do not just talk about the problems, we do the work. And if you are always on the go, YinkusPepe Talks is also available in audio format in Apple, Spotify, and all the major podcast platforms, so you can listen wherever life takes you. Also, looking for the Relationship Clarity Guide, booking information in all the relevant links. Check in the description. Everything is right there for you. Now, let's get into what we can actually do about this issue. Solutions. For dynamic number 1, restart the intentional investment. Put a date on the calendar this week. Not a grand gesture. A 2-hour window where you are both present with each other and nothing else. No phones, no children if possible. No agenda except each other. Do this once a week and protect it the way you protect a work meeting, because it is more important than any work meeting you will ever have. Find the small daily rituals that keep you connected. 10-minute conversation before the children wake up. The deliberate goodbye in the morning. The question at dinner that is not about logistics. This small, consistent investments compound over time in the same way their absences does. For dynamic number 2, learn to repair deliberately. After your next argument, when the heat has cooled, but before you move on, sit down and do 3 things. Each of you say what you were actually feeling underneath the words. Each of you say what you needed that you did not get to say. Then decide together what you will do differently next time. That process done consistently is what repair really looks like. Every time you do it, you build something that recovery alone never produces: understanding. For dynamic number 3, protect your marriage inside your parenting. Schedule time for your marriage the same way you schedule your children's activities. It is not less important. It is the infrastructure everything else runs on. And let your children see it too. Tell them mom and dad are having dinner together tonight. Just the 2 of us. Let them witness you choosing each other. That visibility is the greatest gift you will ever give them. The year 7 itch is not about wanting someone new. It is about 2 people who stopped being intentional with each other and woke up one day feeling like strangers in a life together, built together. You are not too far gone, but you are not going to drift back to each other if you do not do the work it requires. So choose each other on purpose. Repair instead of just recovering. And remember that your marriage is not the background of your family's life. It is the foundation of it. Build it like it matters, because it does, more than anything else you will ever build together. Thank you for watching, and if this conversation resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments. And until next time, this is YinkusPepe.
YinkusPepe, intelligent kind of buzz for the heart and the thinking mind. Marriage culture, commentary too. Life in the house for I explain for.